And we're here. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this little workshop slash live stream slash live teaching. Trying something a little bit new. Been a bit since I did a live stream, and we're talking about how to make your Python build order easier. And the reason why I'm doing this is because um, I think, especially when you're starting out, it can be a little bit of a painful way to figure out what to do next after you're gotten started to play around with it, um, Python SE2, and try to get your bot going. And one of the biggest sore points for me when I was starting out was it is such a pain constantly have to try to build your buildings, your units, all that good stuff. So I thought we would go over a little bit of how to make your life easier when you're working on your bot and your build order. So I got a little bit of a presentation we'll do, and then we'll do a little bit demo after it. I have to say, one of the things when it came to putting this together, and this is you have to bear with me because I have not delivered this before, and I'm going to deliver it to you live, and so hopefully it's going to be what you need. But I actually kind of get these questions. I used to get these questions a bit in my live chat, and I got these questions a little bit when I'm working with people on building bots. But let's get into it. Let's see if this works just as I wanted it. All right. Ooh, worked. Thank goodness. Whew. Okay. About making your Python bot a lot easier, your build order specifically easier, and what that means for you. Title screen. Ooh, okay. Obviously, my name is Drekken. If you're here for the first time, I work with bot makers to build bots that win. Together, we try to make it easier so that bot of your own in your projects, have that bot that you want to call your own. And bot is really just an AI agent or autonomous system. And so you get to practice those skills and you get to build the kind of bot that you want. And my goal and my job is to make that easier because when I started out, it was pretty painful because all the stuff is all over the place and you have to do a lot of digging. So my goal with that is to make it easier, make it a lot easier for people to start building bots, to practice those bot building skills, and then to showcase them. So that's me. If you want to get my notes every 2 weeks, I drop a kind of condensed newsletter on what I've learned or things I've noticed in competitive AI world and how that relates and makes basically gets you those learnings faster and sooner than if you were to go search it yourself. Okay, a little bit of okay. So I'm going to cover about 4 things. First, what are build orders? Where do those build orders come from? Then we're going to create a simple build order, and then we're going to enhance that a little bit with YAML, kind of making it easier to modify. Okay, so first up, what are build orders, and why do we want build orders? So build orders are like little recipes. Essentially, the game of StarCraft 2 follows the steps. Kind of like if you're from programming, you can say kind of almost rule-based steps where it's like, if this, then that. And so to get something like a Zergling, they have prerequisites. We'll have to build this thing. If you have this thing, then you can build that thing. And then if you have that thing, then you can build that thing. And then those are also gated by whether or not you have the resource for them. And so a build order is that recipe for what you want out of the game lined up in its chronological order. Why we want build orders is because if without them, you'll just be building whatever you want. The game of StarCraft 2 will have optimum amount of ways to get to certain things based on the timings and the structure of your overall game. And so you'll get those build orders will be optimum because lots of humans and players have played the game for a very long time. So StarCraft 2 has been out for Jesus. How long has StarCraft 2 been out for? And no, hasn't been 10 years. Has it been 10 years? Has it been 15 years? I actually don't remember when StarCraft. It's been out for a long time, and I'm almost afraid to think about it because that makes me feel old. But anyways, the game has been out for a while, and so these build orders have been out for a while. And even though the game gets updated, players are quick to optimize them. So us as bot makers, there's no need for us to reinvent the wheel. What you want to get that optimized build order and just plug it into your bot, as opposed to trying to recreate something that may or may not be. Actually, it will not be efficient. If you create your own build order without knowing the game or being a pro player, if you're not a pro player, you're unlikely to create a better build order than a pro player will. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that as a fact. You have me on this live stream saying that as a fact. You are not building a better build order, even though bots do defy essentially a little bit what humans can do. You will not make a more optimum build order than that is already created out there in the community. And why go through that effort? That's a lot of work. Anyways, where do you get these build orders? So you get these build orders from two places. Probably a third place, but we'll say these two places. Spawningtool.com is a really, 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 really good resource. Let's see if I can actually, maybe I can pull up that resource for us on stream. This is dangerous, of course, me pulling up on stream a live website. I actually did want to showcase, maybe if I could pull it up and show you guys what Spawning Tool looks like. But essentially, Spawning Tool is a resource where a lot of these build orders are left. Fortunately, unfortunately, it's been a little outdated. The game has fallen in, but there's still a lot of good builds out there that you can pick and choose from. The second place you can get them from is pro players. Pro players still exist, and they are still making builds. So what I like to do, there's a couple ways you can do this. Is you can usually, when a pro player posts or a pro streamer or like a pro player hybrid, like they're pro-ish and they are streaming, you can grab their VOD and then ask ChatGPT or put in an LLM to extract the build order from the VOD. Very good. And sometimes the player just gives you the build right away, so you don't have to do anything. They just give you a link. But if not, you can extract it straight from the VOD or from the video. So those are two key areas. I'm going to pull up Spawning Tool. Actually, we'll also pull up a build order, so you can kind of see what a build order looks like for those of you who are new to what a build order looks like. Oh, good. I found the perfect one. So I'm going to see if I can actually pull this up on stream without screwing up all my scenes on stream. I knew this was it would be a bad idea to try. Oh, okay. Okay. I actually might be able. Oops. You know what? Let me try something else. All right, bear with me. We're doing it live. Doing it live, guys. We're doing it live. Oh, snap. I almost killed my... Okay. Okay. So that did not go as I had hoped. Let's try again. I'm going to try a... See if I can capture the browser. And so I'm just going to get in a moment. I'm going to show you what a build order looks like. Like I said, and this is good for me because this is the first time I'm doing this presentation, or I guess workshop. And then afterwards, like I said, we'll build one. We'll build one together in short order. Okay, I think I can in. Let's pull in. Ah, got it. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. Yes, you can. But a build order essentially is, like I said earlier, like a recipe. I'm going to guess that you guys can. Just in case. Yeah, okay. I think you can. Okay. Is a recipe, right? You will have what the different steps are. It breaks into really two. You only really need two parts, but you can have three parts here, which is pretty useful. The actual thing that's being built, the the supply requirement, and sometimes you'll be fortunate enough to get the benchmarks. Benchmarks are not really necessary for bots because bots will kind of defy the laws of the game itself in terms of the speed mining and just general efficiency. So Benchmarking is good because you don't want to fall below the benchmarks, but at the same time, if you're faster than the benchmarks, that's that's pretty good. So so what you want to keep an eye on is supply, again, which also is a benchmark for yourself, and then what needs to be built in what order. Build orders, and I get this question sometimes too, how long should I build my build order for my bot? How long should my bot be doing a build order for? 5 minutes is probably the best. You're in the early game. That's kind of the time. That's kind of like the sweet spot is 5 minutes. Longer than 5 minutes, the game really kind of diverges, and the build orders become less and less relevant because of the dynamics of the game. So most of the time, as you know, it's like on a curve. The longer the game goes, the more the build orders become less effective. Compositions still become effective. Don't get that twisted. Your compositions that you're aiming for becomes effective, but it becomes less of a prescribed recipe to success as the game goes on past 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes, you're pretty much bang on. You want to make sure the bot is nailing those uh, different lines, but past 5 minutes, your bot can and probably should have a more fluid way of building and responding. And we're not doing that's beyond the scope of this particular workshop. Having some sort of method to build after the build runner, but you do want to have some way that your bot can build based on what's going on. But first of all, build run. Okay, let's go back to build runners. Okay, can I just close that? Yeah, sweet. Okay. Oh, okay. So yes, pro players and spawning tool. Good place. So why do we want to have a build runner? So that was build orders. Why do we want build runners? So build runners allows us to be very flexible with the builds for our bot, because then we can change and tweak and move what is happening in our bot's build without having to edit the code specifically, because the code becomes, you can see here on the right, it becomes pretty static, and to move it around and to change it actually becomes a nightmare, huge nightmare as your bot gets more complicated. You want a build runner because then you can just you can just copy pasta the build straight from wherever, and then you can just tweak it. So if you see something, oh, you know, that doesn't work, I can just change spawning pool or Zergling, rather than going in there and like, oh, can I afford it? Do I want to train it? Blah blah blah. You don't, like, doing that every time is absolutely a nightmare of a more complicated bot. So that's why we want to build runner. We want to make this simple and easy and more flexible for us to build a bot. Then, oh, it's time for the demo. So let's jump into this demo, and we're going to build this build runner together to see if we can get this bot build and a build runner. Let's do it. Get into the coding. And if you want, you can code along with me, and you can ask some questions as we code. I actually don't know how well this will go. Demo? Okay. Okay, do it. Okay, so here we are. Let's have our IDE open, and we're going to start building out the build runner. Okay. So, first things first, if you don't have it already, you should, just have a blank bot ready to go. And you're going to want on this blank bot, make sure all the prerequisites are installed. I did that before. That's actually kind of why it took a little long to start, because my demo actually wasn't working. So kudos out there if you've already got your demo, your blank bot. If you have your bot ready, we can code alongside me, and we can put this together. So let me get a little bit of music, because I like coding with some music. So let me quickly pop some music in, because I do want to have a little bit of a vibe going on. It helps me code a bit, and we're gonna get some going. And I'm not gonna make it too loud, just because I want to make sure you can hear me properly, and that I can hear you. But I do like when I'm coding stuff, it gives a bit of a boost to have some on. I lost my streaming playlist, unfortunately. I went. Everything is falling apart. Well, hopefully the next time I do making this kind of thing, it will be a lot smoother. Oh, found it. Sweet. Not my favorite beats, but I can make this work. All right. All right, we got some beats. Let's do some coding. So hey, Noxy Stranger, I am not coding from scratch. Well, actually, sorry, this is a bit from scratch. I'm coding specifically a build runner from scratch. We're doing this bot specifically from scratch, this build running. So actually, I'm going to put on the chat so you guys can, if those of you want to see the questions get popped up later. Okay, got it. Got some chat going. Okay, cool. Let's get this going. So the first things first, we're gonna pop in. We're gonna pop up, we're gonna call it Hello Runner. I'm gonna put it above the bot class. We're gonna, I'll call this class. Actually, can you guys see this okay? We need to come in closer. This is actually kind of small. What do I want to do? How do I want to make this easier for you guys to see? Don't worry, Noxy, you can just follow along and, man, when I first started, oh, this thing already wants to build it. So I do have an AI assistant, and it's going to want to try to build all of this by itself, which I love it for it. You know, I'm here for it. I think it's such a helpful little creature, but I need to show you what's happening. So, Noxy, you may have missed the earlier parts of it. The goal is to build a build runner so that this bot can build on its own units. So we're gonna work together. I think I'm gonna try to make this a little bigger so that you can see. It is actually smaller because it's, you know, I have a decently large screen, and so I kind of have this all kind of super big. I don't remember how to increase the view. This appearance, zoom in. Okay, so it's control. Oh, geez. Okay, that's a lot better. Bring this terminal down, so you should be able to see. It's not gonna be so small, so you should be able to see better. Okay, cool. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm gonna do the. We're gonna build the class. Class. Hello Runner. Again, this bot, this AI is gonna most likely, it knows what I'm trying to do because I was talking to it earlier, so it's gonna try to, it's gonna try to do it for me. So we're gonna try to resist the urge. Do a little commenting here. We're gonna call it like a bare bones build runner. Small device, you can zoom where you type. Easy to keep track of your screen and code. Really? You can zoom where you type? Really? I don't know why. I've never heard that before. Is that something in like VS Code? You can tell I don't do a lot of demonstrations. This is something I should demonstrating fundamental build run order execution. Because that would be really nice if it just zoomed where I typed. I don't know why I thought it was oh, is that what is that an OBS thing? Like using OBS, not VS Code. Oh, really? Is that a plugin? Okay, well I can't fortunately, I don't want to, as much as I would like to actually go and get that looked at right now, I can't really. That would be taking out all the time that we have, and I don't want to be doing this all day. I actually want to do this all in one sitting. Okay, so we need to go. This is actually right. This is right. So I won't, you know, I'll let it finish some of these stuff, and I'll kind of call this order. No need for it to be or anything. And so what we're just gonna do is initialize, and we're just gonna pass along the different things into the main competitive bot class. Okay, so bot self.order. Self.I. This is for like iteration over. Like bot order. Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do, we're actually create a very simple build order. All we want it to do is tell it to build one probe. Actually, is this set to Protoss? Okay, I'm gonna have to assume it is set to Protoss. Yes, okay, this is set to Protoss. Okay. So what we're gonna end up doing is we're gonna set up it to build, very simply, the structure to build one probe, one pylon, one gateway. No, sorry, pylon, probe. Pylon, gateway, zealot. So we're gonna demonstrate a three-part version of building here. And well, here we're just kind of setting up the sort of the list which you'll pick from to decide and to run the order of the thing. And so essentially the runner will essentially just check what it wants and what it has, and then it'll pull from like a formula of where to get it, right? It's kind of like a conveyor belt in many ways. It's gonna the runner will ask it, hey, I need this thing. The class will the bot will ask, hey, I need this thing. And then the runner will say, oh, I want to get this thing. Do I have, what is this, like, what is the current situation? Do I have resources to build this thing? Okay, I do. What is the current supply? Is the supply here to get this thing? And so, and then if all these things are met, it will then build the thing. Okay, so let's oh, did this, I don't remember writing that specifically. I think I may have just clicked yes. I actually want to return on that. So now then we're going to ask it to, I'm going to check, I'm going to say want. Just make it easy for us to check the want. And I'm going to say have. It's going to want. So the want is just saying, okay, well, what do I want? What does this thing want? What is it looking for? Like, it's going through the list. What does it want? And then it's going to check it against what does it have. So we're going to check. Want. And this is going to be a very important part. You're going to have to remember. I'm going to show you this part here. This is important. You know, you want to check the amount of you have. If you don't know Python SE2, it'll be hard for me to kind of maybe break down the whole thing with Python SE2, but you're going to want to check the type of unit and then the amount, .amount. But what's really important, and I think it's super important to remember, is you need to take into consideration what you have pending. So self.bot already pending. So you want to make sure it takes in consideration what it is that the bot wants, plus it's what is it, or if that thing that it wants is already being built. So if there's a quantity of it, let's say you only want one gateway, you need to have the pending so that it counts that, hey, I'm already building a gateway. Don't get another one. We already have a gateway. Don't get another one. So that's basically what you're looking for. And mind you, this is a very simplistic build runner. It is like, this is what we're gonna build after this. You can play around with it. You don't have to necessarily, like, you really want to enhance this. This is a very dumb and simple build runner. It will not, it's not gonna take into consideration certain things like simultaneously building things at the same time. So, if you're building a probe, And building a pylon, it probably won't. This build runner we're making is not sophisticated enough. Like build runner should and probably will. You want the build runner you want it to be robust enough that it does take in consideration. Hey, I'm building a probe, but I can also build a pylon, right? At the same time, you don't have to wait till the pylon is built before you build a probe, kind of thing. So this will be not quite that smart. It'd be very simple. Okay, so we have if have equals 0. I guess I could say is have equals want. Anyways, we'll just keep it simple for now. Maybe let's say if have equals want. Actually, no, sorry, 0. You want to say 0. We'll say keep it simple for now. This is very simple. Keep the logic simple. Okay. If want equals, again, we're gonna make it very simple. Did I import? Okay, good. I imported some stuff. So we're just gonna do pylon. Hopefully you know StarCraft already, so I don't have to explain to you maybe how pylons and that stuff works, but you need a pylon. You need a pylon for powering buildings, etc., etc. So you're gonna, so if self can afford, you're gonna say, hey, if I want a pylon and I can afford the pylon, pick the position for this pylon, obviously. Find Smith. So a lot of this stuff is actually very Python SE2. So you don't really have to, if you're using Python SE2, you can kind of just, and you know it a little bit, you will be very familiar with this. Okay, find placement. We're just going to find the placement for the pylon. We're gonna pylon, and then we're gonna put it near self start location. Town hall, first position. Again, when you do yours, you're gonna want to be a little bit. You're gonna want to when you do your build runner, you're gonna want it to be a little bit more specific on how you want to build. But for now, again, this is very simplistic. Something to be very mindful to if you are a person who uses AI to code, like I do. And this is a painful thing, and I don't know how to fix it, and I probably need to. Okay, I'm gonna explain this part to you. So, Python SE2 is well worn, but it wasn't always maintained by Bernie, who builds it now, and instead Bernie took over from someone named Decental. I can't remember his name, and the bot used that Python SE2 used to use bot.do, and sometimes the AIs for whatever reason love bot.do, but that doesn't work, and it certainly does not work here, and so we're not going to use it here. So that annoys the crap out of me, but always keep an eye on that. That's that has a completely aside. You have to call the individual worker. You're going to want the worker that is closest to the position that you're trying to get it to build. Then you got build. I sometimes will do is whoops, it's missing the position. Yeah, I will actually put in my rules for my IDE. Make sure you look up Python SE2 before you do whatever it is that you're trying to suggest me. I didn't do this particular project does not have my rules in here, so and then okay, so we're just doing a little bit of else if, and we're going down the list, right? This is a list. So else if this is pretty much the same again. We're doing the same thing for the work For the, oh, is it trying to, oh, is it gonna do everything here for me? Is this suggesting everything? It is, okay, well. So generous of it, but we do not need it to do that. So we want, and self-dot first. I want to make sure we have a worker. I don't know if we don't really have to do that. Yeah, I probably don't need to. Fine. And then we'll repeat. Make sure it's doing the same thing. Actually, I think we want to make sure it's near a pylon. Position, find placement near self.time. Towards. Okay, I think it should be fine here. And then you do the same thing for Zealot. And rinse and repeat. Except for this, actually. So, wait, this is wrong. Sorry. Zealot is not. You actually pull the Zealot out of the gateway. That was actually wrong. See what I, sometimes if you're not paying attention, you let the AI do what it's doing. You get a little up. Okay, else it wants Zealot. And self-bot can afford. You always need to make sure you can afford the thing that you're trying to do. Super important. You will get problems with your bot if it cannot afford the thing and you're trying to get it to do it. So you want to find, you want to go for, we want to do a for loop for it within in the gateways. Self dot. Bot dot structure. Gateways. And again, if you're new to, whoops. Gateways, ready idle. Ready. And idle. You want a gateway that is ready and it is available. And then if you can afford a Zealot, still, whatever, you probably self-bot can forward, and then you want to train the Zealot, and then you want to break out of it. Then we'll also get it to, you know, so each time it's checking these at the same time, and then you want it to say, okay, if none of the, if you've done it, then you just +1 on the list. Okay, it's just a list. It's just checking, right? Okay. And then that's it. That's kind of the simplistic, if we're talking about a very, very, very simple, bare bones build runner. Well, sorry, this is not a build runner. This is like a baby runner. You know, just kind of, this concept is like a list. It checks the list for the thing and then goes on to the next thing, right? That bare bone. And we're gonna make sure it works. And so you understand just the basic concept, and then we'll actually work on we'll evolve it a bit to be more close to what you might want for an actual build runner. But essentially what you're looking at is a list, and we'll do a quick test. Oh, wait, I need to actually put this in the bot. Let's go back into the bot and we'll put it in. And we'll do, we'll initiate the build runner here. So we'll go like self dot build runner equal done. We'll do it on the initiation. And on start, we'll kind of get this game has started, which is fine. Build order. So here you're gonna make, okay, what is the build order? See, it already wants to do the YAML because I have a YAML, but that's not, we're not doing that yet. So we're gonna have a pretty standard. What we're asking to do is like, okay, build me a pylon, build me a gateway, build me a Zealot. That's what I'm asking you to do. And you can maybe do, I didn't do probe, so maybe you can even change this up. Okay, we'll let this go for now. This is my build order, and then you're gonna say initiate the, what is the build runner? Self dot build runner. Now, hello runner. And then self, and then you want to pass the build, you want to pass self itself, like the bot, you want to pass the bot and the build order into the runner. Okay. Did I remember to accept? Okay, I did. Did I remember to? Okay, I did remember to accept it. Okay, cool. So that's kind of set up. That's the build order. And then on each step, every time the bot takes a step, you're gonna want to call, you want to call it to make sure it's like actually trying to build. If self dot build runner, so like the build runner exists, you want to make sure blah blah blah, and then you just run it. Run the build. Run this section here. So if everything worked out well, this should build what we're looking for. Let's see if it works. While this is loading up, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I can. Oh, is it loading? Yeah, it's loading. My terminal's really small and because I've made this thing huge. Can't see. Okay, here we go. Okay, good. You can see it. Just making sure. So, what if you have any questions? We can kind of knock them back out right now. No, Noxie says he's too dumb, but I actually disagree. I think that you can pretty much you understand. Well, you can learn either StarCraft and programming, or learn StarCraft either or. I think you can pick them up. You don't need a lot of StarCraft knowledge. Maybe bare minimum would be ideal to get started. Like, what StarCraft the game is. If you don't know how the buildings work, how the units work, maybe a good starting point. That might be a good guide. Okay, here it goes. Oh no, it didn't build. Uh-oh. So I'm gonna have to figure out why it didn't build. Oh no, it didn't build. Uh-oh. Did I not call something? Try this. I might have been too strict with having this throw. Oh man. Oh, it's okay, so now it's kind of looking at my other stuff. What was it? Suggestions. Let's see. Do I know? Oh, the await. Oh, the await is what I was missing. Okay, that might have been. That was my bad. I think I forgot to wait. Yeah, I forgot the await. So actually, if I just put the await in, maybe that'll be. I don't have to change any of that stuff. So position equals await. That's my bad. The await is, I think, the problem. I think that should do it. If not, then I'll just take its suggestion, but I may have forgotten the await. Can you believe that might actually be the whole thing, is I forgot the await? How did I miss that? I might have to edit that out of this VOD. Just if someone's looking at it later, they want me digging around figuring out that I missed. Wait. Sometimes it's as simple as that. Nope. Okay. So my logic still. Forward. No wait. All these. See what happens. Examine what it did. Oh no. If already have what we want, return to the next step. That actually, but not necessary for the simple situation, but whatever. Toss it in. It happens. So I kind of did this. It's fine. Actually, fine if we set it up like that. Then I would right. Try again, see if it pulls it in here. Stop suggesting. Oh, happened. Huh. Oh, it built. Okay. Whew. Took way longer than it should. Okay. Wait, where does the zealot? Okay, but it built, so that's all right. Whew. See what happened to the zealot though. Gateway, position, if can afford, and self. If want zealot and self can afford thing, or G self dot structures. Type gateway. Oh, that's why. Structure. That should do. Hey! I will have to edit crap out of all. So don't forget the lesson of this, don't forget the weight and okay. Should build. Yep. And then after this is done, it should build a zealot. Or not. Try this again. Check for ready idle. If 4G in self.build structure gateway dot ready dot idle. If self can afford zealot. Train zealot. Break. Else. Oh, else is there. Oh, this is not even necessary. Okay, well, let's try. That should do it. Whew. Man, that was what a wild ride. So I'll stop a little bit over the code so you can see the full code after this is finished doing what it's builds the gateway. And then it builds the zealot. All right. Okay, so that finally worked. That took way longer than it was supposed to. See if we can go through the code a little bit so you can see. And if you're someone who's going to see the code overall and then maybe copy it for yourself, you can go over. But this is really just the basic build runner. You probably won't want to use this for your actual code because this is not a build runner per se. This is more like this is for you to see kind of how it works. But just we'll look at the structure and you can see the logic here. If you have what it's looking for, what you have is greater than 1, then it'll go over 1 and then it'll iterate a bit and then it'll return. And then if it doesn't, then it will check if it'll check first what you want. If what you want is a pylon and it can afford it, it will find a position. Then it will find a probe to build that thing, and it'll build that position. Same thing with that gateway. Want that gateway, can afford it. And then with the zealot, it actually, instead of the placement, since it's a unit, it'll actually look inside the structures that it has. It'll go over the structures it has, and then it'll build inside one of them. Okay. All right, that's part one. Let's enhance this a bit. Let's make this a little bit more enhanced, a little bit better. Okay, maybe clean this up a bit. Now, I already, before we did it, import YAML, because what you're gonna want, the next part of this, part two of this, is this, right? You're gonna want to have a YAML file that you can bring in that will have the time of the positioning of the supply. So the supply is kind of like another requirement. If I'm at the supply, if I have the supply, or if the supply is met, this is what I want. I want this when the supply is met. And then we'll use that same want and have kind of idea. I have this supply. I want this thing. Oh, I don't need this little helper anymore. It was good it helped me figure out that I was missing the await. You want to have the await, especially when it comes to something like that. I just forgot. Might have to make my notes when I make this again. Okay, so let's tear this apart. We don't really need this. We'll start a little bit clean here. We'll okay. Now we're gonna be using it, building a little bit more, and it's like, whoops. Oh, I'm a little flustered. Oh my. Manages the executions. And we'll actually change this. We'll call this now. This is now our build runner. Now the build runner. This is not correct. Let's double check. Bot that you want to pass the bot, self.bot. Then now we want to pass the YAML path. YAML file path. So, you want to pass wherever your YAML file is. Bot. This is where your YAML file is. Current step. I'm going to initialize that, make it 0. Self-completed equals false. It's going to track which, it's going to be tracking to see where we are. You track which step has been completed, so it down. Then we're going to want to load this build runner. String. Here. Open YAML file. Yeah. Return to builder. Call this raw build. Oops, raw. YAML path RF. Okay, parsed. I'm gonna go for And so we're gonna actually just, what we're gonna do is we're kind of like make sure it's parsing it and it's going through the build order, the raw build order from the YAML string, and then parse it into something that this thing can use. And you're just gonna break the parts into pieces that it can apply. Which is the first part, the unit name. The second part. Name. Next part. Unit type, which is it'll go end up looking for. And parsed order. And then it's gonna and then it'll pop it out into something. The parsed order is what it's looking for, right? You know, that way. Then we're gonna go. You know, it's loaded the build order. Hi. Yeah, we can type, and then we'll just kind of take it and go not. It can't afford it. You know, you want to kind of exit. Just jump in the gun. So now we want to determine it's a unit. So you want to obviously parse between units and structure. So type in, and we're gonna have to put like a list. You're gonna put like a list of all the possible. You actually make it hopefully be able to without me. But actually, I have a list here, so I'm copy pasta. Pylon gateway, forge, okay, forge. Photon cannon. I have a list. Probably not cyberkinetic score. Cyber kinetic core. You know, I'm just gonna copy my list. I have a list. No point. Type it all. I should be know all the Protoss units. Go. Am I missing a simulator? That's actually not in there. All right. Those are all the buildings in StarCraft. And then if it is an actual thing, you're gonna want it to not self dot bot workers. You just want to make sure there's workers. Now this is gonna be kind of our the stuff we did earlier. You know, if there's no workers, then you kind of like pop out. But then now we're gonna say, okay, POS, and you can decide how you want to do. So make sure we do wait this time. Oh no, what did I just click on? So find placement. Hit type. So POS equals find placement in the type POS. blind placement equals unit type near. So it's like what we did last time. I probably could have kept what last time instead of deleting all, but and evolved it. But this is a little bit cleaner. Self.bot town hall. And we're just bringing that town hall stuff over like we did last time. First position. Boards. Self.gameinfo did it 5. Yeah, 5. Perfect. And then as long as we have the position. Oh, is it remembering it from the last time? Now it's self.do again. Drives me. Not an actually, that's not a thing. Stop trying to make it happen. Bot.workers. Closest one to the position. Build unit type. Forgot the OS. And it's, you know what the thing is though? It's because this bot is brand new. In my main bot, it'll have so much to draw from in the code. It'll automatically know what to do in the syntax. I guess I forget that because this is a new bot. Because when I'm working my bot, it never gets it confused. That's because there's so much for me to draw on. So if you're using some sort of autofill, keep in mind, and I keep an eye on the self.do thing. It is quite nuts. And I have to make a note for that because I'm working on a video later on. But anyways, so yeah, if it's going through, if it's a unit and the thing, now we're gonna have to. If it's not a building, it's obviously then must be a unit. That's it, right? That's the thing. So it's got to find the production building that's gonna work in. So essentially, if it's not a unit, it must. If it's not a building, it must be looking for production. You know, you're gonna need the production, the building. It needs to use to build wherever it is. Building equals self dot. And we'll actually have to build this. We'll build this out. We're gonna build out. We want to build it out now. Well, we'll make this. We'll make this in a second. Make this function in a second. Production. Do you want to build a function so we can actually, you know, we can parse out like getting the actual building, getting production buildings, or it's type pass to it, and then we won't finish this. We'll actually we'll come back to this in a second. Actually, put a little bit of a pass in there. I'm ready. Properly. Yeah, okay. I want that. Do we pass the unit type? Okay. Now we're gonna kind of make a little bit of a list of the possible buildings you can use. I'm gonna go, okay. Production. Map. Tools. So this, I'm going to copy paste this, but essentially what this is just a map to which units go to which building. We don't have to. So you can get this from Liquipedia. Liquipedia will tell you, so you can look up each unit and then you can say, okay, well, this unit does this. Comes from this. Like a zealot comes from a gateway, but it also comes from a warp gate. Observer comes from a robotics facility, and so this is like, you know, if it's looking for this is what it needs to return for it to do. Okay, so that's the production map. And then we have to return that. Okay, cool. Pretty straightforward. It returns it, and then we can come back to here. Get rid of the pass. I was gonna. Okay, so for building and production building. Production building. So building in self.bot structures. Building, and this is, remember we did the whole ready idle, so we're kind of taking this again and we're kind of evolving that into ready.idle. And then we're gonna have that train, so building train unit type return true, return false. Oh wait. Okay. I think. Okay, I was like, did I finish everything? No, we need to actually put it into, we have our old stuff in here from the when we were actually doing the build runner. So the old build runner. So now we got to kind of make this ready for it. We're gonna initialize it. So now we're like build runner equals none, just like we had last time. Okay, so now actually lift on start. We're gonna want to initialize it. We no longer need this build order because we're pulling from a YAML file now. So build runner, and then we're getting the build order.yaml, which you remember I put it here. Build order.yaml. And so we're doing that on the on start once the game starts, pulling it up. And then on step, we actually can just keep the on step as it was last time. Should be able to just run the build runner. Self.bit, is it self.run? Just double check that I remember if I sold it. Self.build runner. Okay. Oh. Yeah, let's just run it. All right, so if we did everything right, this time it should just run, unlike the last fiasco. And this time I actually added, oh, something's not defined. Try build run. Oh, this should be actually just you. Yeah, okay. Did I do that somewhere else? Yeah, I did that. And let's see if this works. See for our demo, and if anyone has any questions. Okay. Boom. While this goes, grab some water. But I think I have a good feeling because this time I didn't forget the await. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, you know what I forgot? I did forget. I knew I forgot something. Actually, it does need to run. Was the I forgot. I deleted the run. Oh my. So we'll actually wrong. I actually forgot. I did the run from the last. Oh, it's even trying to tell me now. Late. Ah, brain. Let's async. All right, so I missed the run, guys. That wasn't my bad. And this run will follow the similar logic that we had last time. If you remember in our simple version, it's a little bit more advanced. So we'll take the current step and we'll check where we are in the build order. Oh my God. Just one. I don't need you to do the whole for me. So supply. And so we're gonna bring back the whole want, and then, you know, so it's like supply target. Bring that supply target. And we're like want, like what we want. Self.build order current step. Whatever the current step is now our want. Remember the want from the last time. And then the current supply, well, no, supply u from the game. Current supply equals self.supply used. So we can use that. And we're like, okay, well, if current supply is less than, you only want less than, you don't really want to, you know, you don't want it to gate it too hard. You don't have to say equal or equal to or greater than or anything. You want it like less than the supply target. So if it's over the supply target, it's fine. You still want the thing. And then you want to check if it check if this step is already completed. So plus step, that's correct. So that's right. So you're just checking if the step is completed already. And if it's not, then you're gonna want to try. So if wait. By build you want. So if we have, if you want something, and we go self.step current step through, then move to the next step. All right. Now I think we should be okay. Demonstrated. I had forgotten the run step. I don't know why. Yep. Okay, let's see. Oh, cross our fingers, everybody. This should produce, if we're lucky. If we're lucky, it will produce what we've been sitting here hoping for, which is a build run. Oh man, I hope it. Oh, something broke. But I think it's actually in the function. Build run was never awaited. Self.build run, not a wait. Oh, supposed to be a wait. Is this? Am I like constantly cursed by not awaiting? I am going to be absolutely destroyed by await. But I just keep forgetting. Let's see now. Whew. Let's see. Town Hall. Self.bot. Town Halls? Halls? Town Hall? Halls. halls. What doesn't like that still? Not lighting up for town halls. And get it to town hall. Town halls first. Self.bot.town hall. Okay. Let's try again. Town halls. S. Let's see if it takes this time. But the good news is it actually initiated the build runner, or else it wouldn't have broken, right? So it did initiate the build runner. So like this time. It's a long one. Like, oh my gosh, again. Okay. Town halls. First position. Boards. I forgot it's self.bot.gaming. Maps. Okay, let's try that again. Though I'm surprised, my IntelliSync should have brought it up. Highly recommend you if you are building a bot. Now, I have bot maker rules in here. I don't know why I didn't pick up on it, but there we go. There we go. Okay, finally. Okay, so there we go. We have a build runner, and then it's good build a zealot. There it is. Okay. And so we can play around with this. We can, the whole element here is now all we have to do is, if we want our build runner to do something, we just have to edit this part here. So let's say, now I wanted to build, hopefully another gateway after the zealot is done, and then another zealot. And we'll see that should, if everything's done right. Again, this build runner is fairly simplistic. It won't, you know what? It's not gonna build another, it's not gonna build the other zealot because it will not be at 4. So it's gonna build the other gateway, but it won't build the other zealot. But let's see what happens anyways. I'll adjust that in a sec. Then it's gonna build this gateway, it's gonna build a zealot, and then it's gonna build another gateway right afterward, all right? It will not build, oh, it did build the other zealot. Never mind, I take it back. So it really simplifies your life because all you have to do is then add things to the build runner. I'll even like add a probe here to make this. So like 12 probe at 12. Actually, I'll make this 13, so 13. All right. And so it becomes really simple to kind of change your build order and create your build order. Obviously, the more advanced and more smart you make your thing, better. Obviously, the more efficient you make it, the better. Still at 13. What did I say? Did I say 14 for the zealot, or is that 13? Oh, okay. Yeah, so it needs to be. Try that again. So that's going to be 13, and then that's going to have to be 14, and then 14. because the zealot it is a little finicky here because you're gonna want the zealot. When you make the zealot, it increases, it moves the thing, so then it kind of gates it, right? You won't build that thing until it reaches that supply. So you can control the building based on the supply, but you have to be mindful, especially if you're as simplistic as this one, is you want to making sure the unit's being building that moves the supply forward. It moves so it builds a probe, and that builds up the pylon, which then should build the gateway. This gateway should build a zealot, and then it builds another gateway, and then it builds another zealot, and there you have it. You have a build runner. Okay, so that was your build runner. I'll go over the code so you can, if you're watching this and you want to have your code yourself, you can do it. Maybe I'll even put it in a link to the guide. I wrote a guide on it, so who knows how that code is today. Maybe I'll make if you actually really want the access to this code itself, maybe I'll post it so you can just access to the code. I'll do it slow. Let's see if we'll do a little bit of a slow scan so you can kind of see the code yourself and maybe stop on a part that you want. And if you have any questions while I'm going through this, you let me know. I obviously made a series of errors here, but a lot of them smaller and things. But the logic, like I said, this enhanced build runner is just same what we did earlier, just made up a little bit more, and it goes from the YAML file. Okay. And then I pull it on start, and I initiate and call it on step. Time to run it. Okay, so I think that's what we'll call it. We'll call that. So that was a build runner. That was much longer than I expected. This is my first time I ever did this live, so please be a little bit gentle because, hey, I actually practiced it, but yeah, code can be sometimes a little pernicious killer on when you're doing things live, and I did have some notes to pull from. But hopefully this build runner helps you. Hopefully you put your own build runner to use. You can actually make it. You can actually make your own bot a little bit more modular, make your bot a little bit more robust. This build runner is very simplistic. Definitely enhance it, make it more. If I was giving examples, you're gonna want to maybe make it a bit parallel. Handle errors too. If it can't find what it needs, then skip. If something gets interrupted, then skip. Like that is probably what you'll want to make it more robust. But this will get you out the door and get you something started that you can make your own. Okay, so that's this workshop. Hopefully this helped. If you have any questions, leave some comments below. I'll leave a link to the guide that goes with this. Hope it helps. Not for now. Let me know. May the bugs ever